Greetings, Internet. It's your old buddy Ego just coming in with my 2 cents on the recently revealed PlayStation Plus products, formerly known as Project Spartacus. For those of you who hadn't heard the rumors prior to the announcement, Project Spartacus was going to be a competitor for Xbox Game Pass. Turns out that's mostly true. The PlayStation Now service that you might already be familiar with is getting consumed into PlayStation Plus. It will no longer be a separate product. So now PlayStation Plus will have 3 tiers of service, with PlayStation Plus Essential being the PlayStation Plus that we already know. You pay $60 a year, you can play games online, you get cloud storage, etc. PlayStation Plus Extra, which is essentially the PlayStation Now that we're already familiar with. You pay a little bit more, and in addition to being able to play games online, you'll have access to a selection of PS4 and PS5 games. Now, unlike PlayStation or Xbox Game Pass, there won't be any first-party titles thrown on the service on release day, the way that Xbox does it. And in that respect alone, I feel that Microsoft has a better value proposition. Now, say what you will about the quality of Microsoft's first-party games. I know they mainly have Halo and Gears, and how often do they release one of those? But keep in mind, they've purchased Bethesda, they've purchased Obsidian, they're in the process of trying to purchase Activision Blizzard. We'll see how that shakes out. So the future should be a lot brighter for first-party titles. And then the service will be even more valuable. Now, primarily, I think the reason that Microsoft offers their service the way that they do, and that Sony is choosing to be, we'll call it, a little more stingy with their service, is because Sony is the market leader and Microsoft isn't. Microsoft is trying to gain market share. They're trying to give you that warm fuzzy. They want you to sign up for their service. And honestly, I think Microsoft is more of the mind that they can make more money by getting all of us to pay $15 a month in perpetuity versus selling us a $500 piece of hardware every 7 or 8 years. However, the specific economics of that may shake out. I think if the tables were flipped, it would potentially be the opposite. Microsoft would not be offering first-party titles, and Sony potentially would. But this brings us to the next tier of the new PlayStation Plus. PlayStation Plus Premium includes all the benefits listed before. PS4 and PS5 games, online play, all that stuff. But Premium will also give you access to a library of PS1, PS2, and PS3 games. PS3 games specifically are going to be streamable only. And PS1 and PS2 games probably will be as well. It doesn't seem like they'll be downloadable. But even still, there's the key feature right there. They're selling us a type of backwards compatibility, but it's not really even backwards compatibility. I can't just take a PS1 game and put it in my PS5 and play it. Whereas with Microsoft, if an original Xbox game or a 360 game is available on their store and you have the physical disc, you can put the disc in your system. It will go ahead and let you download the digital copy of that game, and it will run on your system. Now, it has the copy protection of you need to put that disc in every time if you want to be able to play it. But essentially, you can put your disc in there and just play the game without having to continue to pay for a subscription that allows you to play the game. You can just play it, no problem, because you already bought the game. And that's still one of the things that I think Microsoft does very well that I really would like to see Sony do. Sony, more than any other, really seem to have gotten into this mindset. And I know previous executives have commented on this before, that they just don't want to offer backwards compatibility. An executive had commented previously that they don't see a lot of engagement in backwards compatibility. I'd like to see those specific numbers because as someone who appreciates backwards compatibility, I'm probably a bit biased, but I think there's a big audience out there for that. And all the same, if I've already purchased a game, then I would like to just be able to play it on my newer hardware. That's just like my PC. If I buy a game on Steam, and 10 years from now, I've got a whole new computer, I can still play the same game because I've already bought it. Now, my other concern with this service is what sort of games are going to be available on Premium and how are they going to deliver that? That's what I'm really waiting to see. I think I might be most interested in Premium, but I want to see what PS1 and PS2 games are going to be on it. And are they going to drip feed those out the same way that Nintendo drip feeds out Virtual Console titles? If you ever notice, Nintendo has done this ever since the Wii. They did it on the Wii U, they've done it on the DS, and they're doing it on the Switch. Virtual Console comes out with a handful of great titles that everyone's played, that everyone's familiar with. It gets people to buy into the Virtual Console or to subscribe to the Virtual Console as it is on the Switch. And then they promise you we'll release X amount of games every month. And then after a few months, they back off of that. And then you're in the situation like you are right now, where 1 or 2 games come out 1 or 2 times a year. And there are very often games that you probably haven't heard of or just would never have played back in 1989. And I don't want to see that happen with the PlayStation Plus service. I think Nintendo would be vastly improved by just getting as many games as possible onto that service all in one go. Same for Sony. Let's get all the games that you possibly can and just throw them out there. Don't just onesie-twosie them, just throw them out there. Now, also, there's, of course, I'm sure the matter of licensing, and if you want to be able to put Symphony of the Night on PlayStation Plus as a PS1 game, they got to talk to Konami. Konami has to say okay, so on and so forth. But the way I see it, that's really just a pitfall of doing it the way that they're doing it. Right? Because that's basically, you're having to get permission from the developer / publisher to put the game back on the shelf again. Whereas if I could just put my copy of Symphony of the Night in my PS5 and play it, then you shouldn't have to get any kind of permits or licensing or anything like that. I have the game already. Just let me play it. PS2 had the best backwards compatibility. It really did. You just put your PS1 games in it. They ran, no problem. The original iteration of the PS3, same thing. You put your PS2 and PS1 games in it, and they ran, no problem. Then they started dropping the ball with later iterations of PS3. So ultimately, time will tell. It launches in June, so I guess we'll find out once June hits, what exactly is going to be available. But I'm definitely on a wait and see. I'm not as enthused about it as I was kind of hoping to be. But those are just my 2 cents. And I'm going to go ahead and get out of here for now. We'll catch you guys next time. Take it easy.